Yo, what up, guys? So we just caught this 1:5 risk to reward trade on V25. And of course, as usual, I didn't just take this trade alone, I shared it with my community members. You can see the trade here. I shared it with my community members on Telegram. So here is it. Here is it. That was yesterday around 11:53 a.m. You can see the time. You can see the signal here. Look at it here. Sell V25, minimum lot 0.5. Stop loss with minimum lots -$6. That yellow line is the TP1. Risk wisely. You can see that here. So here is V25 when I shared it yesterday, and today market eventually hit not just TP1, but it has also hit the final TP and has even gone lower. And from the look of things, I think V25 still has to come down lower. We could probably see it come down to around 26, between 2870 to 2860, something of that region. So now I'm gonna walk us through how I was able to see this trade. What did I see? What were the markups I had? What were the things I was looking out for that made me know that this trade was definitely gonna be a sell? Okay, so let's do that together. Firstly, we go to the 24 hours chart. That's the 24-hour time frame. My network is kind of glitching now, but let's try another time frame to know if it will work. Okay, so looking at the 4-hour time frame, what do we notice? What do we see here? What do we see on the 4 hour? We first of all notice that this market has actually it's been buying. Yes, it's been buying. It bought until it went to a high of this very high. Now it went to a high of 300 and 3016 plus. It went over 3000. That's this V25. So when it went that high, when you look closely, discover that this is actually a more like a generational level. See, there's a previous high it made here. It now came and retested it. So some people could call this a double top, right? It's more like a double top, of course. So it made that double top, and of course, whenever a market hits double top, what do you expect? Usually, there's a correctional move, right? So I spotted that, even though I didn't see it when it got to this 3016. I didn't notice it then. It was some hours later that I saw it. So when I saw what had happened, and then I discovered that me being a trend line trader and knowing that this synthetic indices has a way of following trend lines, I was able to spot out this very generational trend line here. This is a major trend line here. You can see this blue line is a trend line. And when I drew the trend line, I was also able to draw another one. I drew another one that ran this way, went this way, right? Recall when I drew this, market hadn't gotten to where it currently is. So I also spotted drew out this trend line. That's the second trend line I drew. And then the next trend line I had was somewhere around here. I recall vividly. I had another trend line here. Okay, so what I was waiting for then was for this last trend line. Let me change the color so that let me change it to green. So I was waiting for this green trend line to be broken, and you can see what happened. It didn't actually break it immediately. It broke it, rejected it, didn't close below it. But look at this, was when we had the close. This blue, you can see this blue candle here, this bullish candle, that's the blue candle. That was the only time. Okay, after it broke it here in this very major, this big red line. It broke below, closed below that, and then the next candle that formed, which was this very blue line, went only to a high of 2957. That was when I knew that this market was actually gearing towards selling. So let's now go back to lower time frame. Let's get to 15 minutes time frame. So me spotting it, what else did I see? As I spotted that, I just knew that okay, it was time for this market to actually sell. Then I was also able to draw another trend line resistance that ran, I think somewhere around here. I was also able to spot a trend line resistance. So as I drew it, I knew that this market had to come to retest at least. Let me change the color to black. Yes, I knew that this market had to come to retest this very point. Now that's this black line. It needed to retest that resistance. So that was what made me to get the entry around 2960. Even though it went a bit above that, it went as high as 2962.88, so just a bit below the entry. and then the stop loss was above this previous high. This was where I put the stop loss. So just few moves above the previous high, and see what happened. Market came, picked the entry, and then started selling. So, and when you look now, you see that it, first of all, let me now go to 1 hour time frame. First of all, it broke below this green, that's this green trend line. So this one has been taken out. We remove it. The next one now that is still waiting for is this orange one. Once it closes below this orange trend line, the next one will now be this blue trend line. You can see that. So I can also draw a horizontal line here, that's more like a support level here, to denote it. So this market still has a chance of coming down to, like I said, between 2860 to 2870. If you could recall, I mentioned it earlier. So I still expect it to sell down to this 2869 to 870 or stuff like that. So it's when it now gets there that we now have to wait to see. Of course, if it gets here, I know it's gonna react a bit. It's gonna push up a bit. If it pushes up a bit, and then we watch how the market reacts. If it gives us more entry, we now take another sell, and then we will be targeting this major, that's this major trend line here, which is where, if the market eventually gets to, let me denote it with another horizontal line, somewhere around this region, if market eventually gets to maybe, let's say, 2830 or thereabout, or even lower, slightly lower than that, somewhere around here, yeah, if market eventually gets there, that means we are taking a huge buy. And if we are taking a huge buy, of course we will be targeting up. We'll be targeting up, because this market is definitely gonna buy massively. If eventually retests this blue line, it will be going high. So that's actually why and how we were able to spot this high probability setup. And it's not just this one. I've also shared another setup with the community members. You can see it here. I just shared it with them. Look at it here. See, I said eyes on V10. These two price levels, black, are the probably entry points for a massive move to the upside. If you are lucky to get, you're going to ride it back up to the 6,000 price. So this is V10. So if you want to participate in this, if you want to always participate in the high probability synthetic trading setups I always share, look for, search for the community username on Telegram. You can see it here, solutionfs_HQ. That's it. Just search for it on Telegram and join. It's free. It's free. You're not paid. You're not asked to pay anything. It's totally free. So join us on Telegram. Alternatively, look around this video. You're gonna see the link to this community. You can see the link to this community. Search for it there and then hop in so that you can participate in our high probability fire setups that we share every day on the Telegram community channel. All right, guys. So I will talk to you guys in the next one. Hands ahead. Salute.